This lesson is on deductive reasoning. And first, we're going to do an example and determine if I am innocent or guilty of some crime. And to do that, we're going to use logical evidence to draw a conclusion, the conclusion that either I am innocent or I'm guilty. And then we're going to define what deductive reasoning is. So let's go through this. Am I innocent or am I guilty? So a store, CDs or Us, has accused me of stealing a CD from its store. According to the police, someone stole the CD from the store last Saturday between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Determine whether or not there is enough evidence to convict me, or if you can help prove me innocent of this crime. So I want you to carefully listen to the evidence that is presented, as it's presented, and for each statement you need to decide, does the statement convince you, why or why not? And what could be changed or added to the statement to make it more convincing? Okay, here is the testimony. When I've been accused of the CD, the first thing I say is, but I don't even like that CD. I wouldn't even take it if you paid me. I then say, I don't have the CD. You can search me. I was home having dinner on Saturday when the CD was stolen. And then Steve says that there were actually several of us having dinner with Mr. Hayes at his house, and he made a great spaghetti sauce. Then another person at the dinner, Kim, said all of us at the dinner with Mr. Hayes left his house at 6:10 p.m. Police Officer Smith, who's involved in investigating this crime, said that driving as quickly as I could, it took me 30 minutes to go from Mr. Hayes' house to CDs or Us. Jason said Mr. Hayes made a wonderful goal, oh thank you Jason, right at the beginning of our soccer game, which started at 7 p.m. You can check the score in the local paper. And then finally, Police Officer Smith, in investigating the crime, said, I also drove from CDs or Us to the field where the soccer game was played. It would take at least 40 minutes to get there. So now pause the video and go through each of these pieces of testimony and determine whether or not it convinces you, and if you can come up with an argument that proves that either I did or did not steal the CD. Am I innocent or guilty? So pause the video now. Now let's use logic to draw conclusions based on the statement, which is hopefully what you did when the video was paused. If we look at the statement, people left Mr. Hayes' house at 6:10, then we can conclude that Mr. Hayes couldn't have started driving to CDs or Us until 6:10 at the earliest. If I had left earlier than that, then the people at my dinner would have noticed and known. Next statement is that I scored a goal at the beginning of the 7 o'clock game. So again, what we can conclude from that is that I arrived at the field at 7 o'clock at the absolute latest, meaning that I had 50 minutes maximum to drive from my home, starting at 6:10, to the store and then to the field, arriving at 7. When the Officer Smith, drove, it took him 30 minutes to drive from my house to the store, and then 40 minutes to drive from the store to the soccer field. So we can conclude from that I would have needed at least 70 minutes to drive from my house to the store, to then steal the CD, to then go to the field. And so the conclusion is that I had only 50 minutes to drive from 6:10 till 7. But I would have needed at least 70 minutes for the driving if I had actually stolen the CD. Therefore, we can conclude, using logic, that I did not steal the CD. And while my being proved innocent is exciting, what's even more exciting is that you just used deductive reasoning to prove me innocent. Well, what is deductive reasoning, you may ask? Well, deductive reasoning is using logic to draw conclusions based on accepted statements. Those accepted statements in this case were the statements about that were made by me and others, including the police officer, and then we drew a conclusion based on that. And the conclusion we based on that was that I was innocent of taking the CD. And using logic and using deductive reasoning takes time and effort. And some people are very good at it, but with practice and a growth mindset, you can be good at it too.